we're going to make sure that we have the same vocabulary and understanding as we talk about some angles. An angle really is the amount of inclination between two rays that share a vertex. So the amount of inclination between two rays that share a vertex. Another way to think of it, and one way that we often think about it in our journey through trig, is the amount of rotation from an initial side to a terminal side. Okay? So the amount of rotation from an initial side to a terminal side. When we look at it this way, we want to make sure that we agree upon an orientation. So if we are going counterclockwise from our initial side, then we actually have a positive angle measurement. If, however, starting at our initial side, right, IS, we go clockwise to our terminal side, TS, then we have a negative angle measurement. Okay, so counterclockwise from our initial side is positive, clockwise from our initial side is negative. Okay? So let's draw an initial side here, and let's talk about some familiar angles. If I go from here to here, so there's my initial side, and I terminate at the vertical axis, then I know that this is 90 degrees. If my initial side begins here and terminates on the other side, I have 180 degrees. If I make 3/4 of a turn around, so starting at the initial side and landing here, I've gone 270 degrees, and if I make a full rotation and come back to my initial side, I've gone 360 degrees. Okay? Now, let's remember what an acute angle is. So an acute angle, theta, is one that measures greater than 0, so it's got to be positive, and less than 90. Okay, and so those occur, y'all recall, in the first quadrant. In the first quadrant, theta is less than 90, greater than 0. So on the horizontal axis, on the initial side, our angle is 0, and if I go all the way to the vertical axis, then my angle is 90. But between those two, so in the first quadrant, my theta is between 0 and 90. In quadrant 2, theta is bigger than 90, but less than 180. In quadrant 3, theta is bigger than 180, but less than 270. And in quadrant 4, theta is bigger than 270, but less than 360. This is probably familiar to most of you all, but this is something that we all need to make sure that we agree upon as we proceed forward.